Hello, this is Joe Vector reporter, and this is news with Joe Vector. Here is the news. We have spotted 2 planets orbiting a backward spinning star by Krista Charles from the New Scientist. A planetary system 897 light years away from U.S. has 2 planets orbiting a star that rotates backwards. It used to be assumed that a spinning star's equator should line up with the orbital plane of its planets. Because the star and planets both ultimately grow from the same spinning molecular, I shall say, cloud. As a consequence, the star should spin in the same direction that the planet's orbits. But the K2 290 system doesn't follow this rule. According to the report, the K2 290 system consists of 3 stars and has 2 planets orbiting the main star K2 290A. Simon Albrecht at I don't even know. It starts with an A, but it's at a university in Denmark, and his colleagues determined that compared with both planets' orbits, K2 290A's rotational axis is tilted by approximately 124 degrees. This means that the star actually spins in roughly the opposite direction to its 2 orbiting planets. By comparison, in our solar system, the sun's spin axis is tilted only about 6 degrees compared with the planetary orbits, which means sorry, God bless me. I don't know. I guess this planetary air makes me sneeze. I don't know. 6 degrees compared with the planetary orbits, which means the planets orbit in roughly the same direction as the sun rotates. What does that mean? The New Scientist report will tell you. The misaligned scene in K290 has been seen before in other planetary systems. One theory is the turbulence during star formation could cause misalignments between a star and its planets. Whatever nature can produce, it seems to be produced somewhere, says Albrecht. But K2 290 is unique in that both planets are orbiting in the same plane. This hints that something unusual happened early in the planetary system's history, after the spinning molecular cloud had evolved to become a star surrounded by a protoplanetary disk from which the 2 planets eventually grew. I of this is scientific mumbo jumbo, but I believe it is interesting to have kind of a backspin to a star, a planet. I don't know. It's just very interesting, to say the least. The fact that the planets appear to be coplanar means that maybe it wasn't dynamically violent mechanism. It wasn't a dynamically violent mechanism that caused them to migrate. Maybe it was the disk. Says Chris Watson at Queen University, Belfast, UK. So then you have to look at how did you end up with the star and the planet forming disk tilted in the first place. Albrecht and his colleagues believe that the whole system became misaligned because of presence of a companion star, perhaps K290b, that could have exerted gravitational forces which moved the disk. Basically, B interfered with A, and A went kapooey. It didn't go kapooey, but it felt like it was going kapooey. At least that's my take of things. And a lot of the way we interpret the spin, orbit misalignment assumes that the actual planetary disk was aligned with the whole star in the first place, says Watson. You open doors to, we don't really know what's going on. If you're able to misalign that disk in some way. Journal reference proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Oh, basically, we have a planet or a star that's going haywire right now because of one star, and it's a very interesting story. For more information, check out Krista Charles and The New Scientist. Can be found online. I don't know. I'm going to read another story. And this is off Google, but I'm going to try to find the article if I could find it. Usually I read from AP News, but I'm reading these articles because they got other stuff that I may be interested in. And this is from Wrestling Inc. Tony Khan on working with WWE. Come to Jacksonville, I'm begging you. Sai Mohan. And this is from Wrestling Inc. Report. AEW President Tony Khan is more than willing to work with WWE following the company's recent partnerships with promotions such as NJPW and Impact Wrestling. During the recent appearance on the Wrestling Fetish, I don't know, it's kind of like Ziggy and Quantum Leap when my device goes haywire and it blanks out, then I have to hit it again. I don't know. Let me go back to the story. AEW President Tony Khan is more than willing to work with WWE following the company's recent partnerships with promotions such as NJPW and Impact Wrestling. During his recent appearance on the Wrestling Fetish podcast, Khan was asked if the Forbidden Door is open to NXT or WWE. They are more than welcome, said Khan. As I've said before, the Forbidden Door is open anytime. Just come and knock. If they were to knock on the door, I would certainly be willing to let them in. When asked if WWE invading AEW would be similar to DX showing up on WCW Nitro, Khan said, I don't think so. Eric Bischoff wanted them, WWE, to come inside. So I'm willing to do the same. Come in, please. I would love that. Come to Jacksonville. I'm begging you. During the podcast, Khan explained why he takes pride in treating other promotions really well. The biggest thing in relationships for me is I treat people really well. And I am very honest with them, he said. That's why people like to work here, whether it's AEW or the Jaguars. I do think that sets us apart from other wrestling companies. But in dealing with other companies, I try to treat them the same way as I treat my own employees. As noted, Khan hit back at the criticism he recently received from Conan, stating that it was amusing for the AAA booker and WCW legend to question the way he books AEW shows. If you use any quotes in this article, please credit Wrestling Fetish with AH/T to Wrestling Inc. for the transcript. So go to Wrestling Inc. To look up this article and go here's what said in the video from Wrestling Fetish Podcast, and you can check that out online or wherever on your mobile device. AEW President Tony Khan on potential of AEW versus WWE in the future. Wrestling Fetish. Check out full episode here. YouTube. And it has the link right there. It's at Twitter, but again, you can check it at Wrestling Fetish Podcast. At WrestleF Pod. That's where you find. And I'm gonna do one more podcast for you. Hopefully it's a quick one. But before I get to that, it's good that they do this work, kind of like how the Indians did back in the day with the different promotions. they trade stars around, keep them fresh, keep the storylines fresh because, let's just face it, storylines get dull after a while. I'm going to read this quick article, and then we're done with the show, and I could watch The Young and the Restless. Speaking of The Young and the Restless, The Young and the Restless comings and goings! And this is reported by Soaps.com. About 22 hours ago, the article was printed. While it was previously reported that Rebecca Graff has been casted as Tara Locke, the woman from Kyle's past in New York, we can confirm that due to a scheduling conflict, it led to the part being recast last minute. Actress Elizabeth Liner has since been hired to play the recurring role of Tara and will first appear on Monday, March 1st. On Friday, February 5th, Theo returned to Genoa City with a bombshell of a secret that could ruin Kyle's life. He told Sally, of all people, who in turn accompanied Theo to visit Kyle and let him know she was aware that he had an affair with a married woman named Tara Locke while in the Hamptons, that they had a child together. The confusion before Sally and Theo could use it against him. For once, it was doing the smart thing for Kyle to do. There is no telling what will happen when Tara turns up on the scene, or what will become of Kyle should her husband, a ruthless business mogul named Ashlyn Locke, appear as well. One thing is for sure, this will definitely put a damper on Kyle and Summer's ongoing quest for a bright future. Take a look through our photo gallery featuring Kyle and Summer's romance over the years. Amy Mistra. This interesting thing in Genoa City, in The Young and the Restless, and again, it's something to liven up the storyline. It's something they desperately need right now, like in WWE and AEW. Some shaking up going on. This has been News with Joe Vector. I'm the Ace Reporter. Have a good night, or good afternoon, or whatever time you are listening to this podcast, as George Norrie would say. Have a good night.